All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are breaking down the exact blueprint for building a realistic, profitable 500-bird layer farm right here in Nigeria. Look, whether you're taking your very first steps into poultry farming or you're just looking to optimize a small flock you already have, you are in the perfect place. We're going to act as your mentors in this explainer, diving deep into the numbers, the physical setup, and those crucial operational secrets that literally separate a struggling farm from a highly profitable one. Now, you might be wondering the million-dollar question, right? How much profit does a 500-bird farm really make? If you poke around local farming groups, you'll hear these wild success stories. And, well, you'll hear some absolute horror stories too. But today, we're tossing out the absolute best and worst case scenarios. Instead, we're zooming in on realistic, average expectancies. We want to know what a standard, solidly managed season actually yields when you put your hard-earned capital on the line. Okay, let's dive into this, because the very first decision you make basically dictates the whole shebang. For a 500-bird farm, we are focusing exclusively on the deep litter system. Think of it like this. Your birds live inside a house, right on a floor that's covered by at least 6 inches of bedding, stuff like wood shavings or maybe rice and coffee husks. So no cages, and they aren't just roaming wild outside. This is widely considered the absolute safest and cheapest alternative for a farmer who's starting out with limited capital. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover the deep litter advantage, project your expected revenue, map out those essential expenses, dive into the feed profitability factor, and finally, wrap up with maximizing your farm's potential. Let's get to it. Starting things off with Section 1, the deep litter advantage. So why choose this specific setup? Well, this choice is absolutely crucial, especially in the Nigerian agricultural landscape where initial capital can be a pretty massive hurdle. Honestly, buying battery cages for 500 birds is a huge upfront expense. If you actually had the cash for cages, you'd be way better off just buying 600 or 700 birds and skipping the cages completely. On the flip side, free-ranging is just way too risky when you factor in local predators and disease control. So deep litter, it's the perfect middle ground. It's incredibly cost-effective to set up, but it still keeps your flock completely secure and manageable. Moving right along to Section 2, projecting your expected revenue. Now, quick disclaimer before we get into the heavy numbers, we are talking about gross income here, so that's before any expenses are taken out. And we're assuming you are using the absolute best management practices. If you do manage your birds well, here is your magic number, 84%. Over a 90-week period, that's your expected average egg production rate. In reality, the curve looks kind of like this. When your birds first start laying around week 1, you might only see about 3% production. But as they mature, they're going to peak at around 95 or 96%. Over time, as the flock ages toward that 90-week mark, production naturally drops back down into the 70s. But if you do everything right, it all averages out to a highly dependable 84%. Which brings us to this fantastic figure right here. Assuming that 84% average production rate over 90 weeks, 500 birds will generate an expected gross revenue of about $19,500. I mean, wow, that is a massive cash flow injection in the Nigerian agricultural market. It's a big, exciting number for sure, and it proves that a small flock can generate serious cash. But as any seasoned agricultural entrepreneur will tell you, revenue is really only half the story, right? And that leads us into Section 3, mapping out essential expenses. So the crucial point is, to actually see that $19,500, you really have to understand your startup costs. Pay close attention here, because this is exactly where first-time farmers get caught totally off guard. Look, birds usually start laying eggs around week 18, but between week 18 and week 21, they aren't producing enough eggs to pay for their own daily feed. They won't truly feed themselves until week 21. That means everything we're looking at right now, the chicks, the brooding equipment, the vaccines for stuff like fowl pox and Newcastle, the drinkers, the feeders, and literally every single gram of feed for the first 5 months, that all comes straight out of your pocket. If you go the route of using a standard commercial feed concentrate, you can expect all those pre-week 21 setup expenses to hit you for roughly $2,880. That is a really significant initial capital hurdle. You absolutely must have this capital locked and loaded before you even buy your first chick. Otherwise, your flock is literally going to starve right as they're getting ready to produce. Now, once you cross that week 21 finish line, the farm finally starts paying for itself. But, you still have continuous month-to-month operational costs to deal with. You've got to account for transporting your feed and delivering your eggs. You've got electricity, water, staff wages, and those monthly booster vaccines. Oh, and you definitely need a miscellaneous emergency fund because, let's be real, things will inevitably break. But did you notice what's not on this list? The actual physical house construction? That's because a well-built poultry house lasts 20 years. So you're spreading that cost across many, many flocks over decades, rather than dumping it entirely onto your first 500 birds. All right, moving on to section 4, the feed profitability factor. Now, what's really interesting about this is that everything we've talked about so far hinges on one massive operational pivot. The harsh reality is that your choice of feed completely dictates the lifespan and the profitability of your entire business. The contrast here is just night and day. If you buy a commercial 20% concentrate and mix it with maize, your profit at 90 weeks is just under $4,000. But check out the alternative. If you learn to mix your own feed entirely from scratch, like sourcing your own maize, sunflower cake, and soya cake, your 90-week profit skyrockets to $6,600. You guys, that is over $2,500 in extra profit simply by changing how you source your bird's dinner. Mind-blowing, right? But it's actually even deeper than just a better daily margin. Relying on commercial feed creates what we call the 82-week trap. Here's how it works. If you're using that more expensive concentrate feed, and let's assume an average egg price of about $2.84 per tray, a devastating mathematical crossover happens at week 82. As birds age, they naturally lay slightly fewer eggs. But your expensive feed costs? Yeah, they stay exactly the same. So by week 82, the cost of that concentrate completely outpaces your egg revenue. You are literally losing money every single day you keep them, which forces you to off-lay or sell off your flock early. This really hammers home the reality of that trap. If you stick with concentrate, you cap out at $4,563 in total profit because you have to shut the whole flock down at 82 weeks. But if you mix your own feed, your daily costs drop so much that the farm remains highly profitable well past the 100-week mark. By keeping those birds producing longer with cheaper feed, your total lifetime profit jumps to an incredible $7,400. That is nearly $3,000 extra dollars right in your pocket, all from the exact same 500 birds. Let's bring it home with Section 5, maximizing your farm's potential. So, how do we guarantee you actually hit those upper limits? I want to leave you with some actionable, proven strategies that will let your small 500-bird farm completely outperform larger, poorly managed ones. Here are 3 golden rules of agricultural entrepreneurship. First up, keep your feed costs aggressively low. Don't just buy feed week to week. Actually buy raw ingredients like maize right after the harvest when prices plunge, and store them securely so you can use them when market prices spike. Second, maximize your production through weight management. Listen, layers are not supposed to be overly fat. Raise your birds to their precise target weight. If they're underweight or overweight, they simply won't hit that 95% peak production. And finally, find better markets. I know it's super tempting to sell right in the middle of Legos or Abuja, but those city centers are hyper-competitive. Instead, look to underserved local communities slightly farther out where you can actually command a premium price for your eggs. These are small, smart shifts, but they create massive financial leverage. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. You. Look, to apply this blueprint in the real world, you have to know your local numbers. In our explainer today, we used an average benchmark of $2.84 per tray of eggs to calculate that $7,400 total profit. So I've got a challenge for you right now. What is the exact price of a tray of eggs in your specific local Nigerian market today? Go find that number, run it against the expenses we just outlined, and calculate your own true potential profit. The blueprint is right here in front of you. Now it is time for you to go build it. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.